Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to have a little bit of a look at, well, Pokemon TCG Pocket. Now, I showed you a full preview of this earlier. I have been to Pokemon HQ in London. I have played the game. It was awesome. I didn't get a chance in the previous video to really dig into the new cards that I'd seen, and now that I've played a few games of it, I ain't gonna sit here and pretend I know everything, but I do feel like I'm in a better position now to judge how good these cards might end up being, so I thought we'd have a look at these new cards in this context. So starting off then, there was a new EX, I believe a new EX, that we've not seen before, and that is Arcanine, which is actually quite an interesting Pokemon, because as I told you in the preview, there is a rule in Pokemon TCG Pocket, an actual rule, that Pokemon will only have one attack unless they are an EX. Well, Arcanine is an EX. Still only got one attack. Sorry, Arcanine. Never mind. And it's a pretty good attack. But it's not perfect. Now, we got 150 HP, which is high in this game. It's a stage 1 EX. We would expect that. We've only got a plus 20 weakness. Remember what I told you in the video earlier. Weakness right now is plus 20. Every card that we have seen publicly available has been plus 20. There's nothing more than plus 20. That's not to say it will remain this forever, but it is there for now. Arcanine, free energy, 120, plus 20 damage to itself. This is a very good attack. We can look at stage 2s around at the moment, and this isn't going to get all of them. You know, it's 10 damage short of Pidgeot, for instance, but it's getting up to that kind of level. For me, one of the things I like most is it will KO Pikachu. Pikachu EX, I'm going out on a limb right now and saying Pikachu EX is redonk. It's a basic, 2 energy, it does 30 for each of your bench lightning Pokemon. Well, in 2 turns, that means you're doing 90 damage. And then you're doing 90 every turn. It's really good. I think Pikachu is nuts. The fact that this one-hit KOs it is great. The self-damage isn't ideal, but you know, when something like Arcanine's hitting for 120, you're probably going to be alright. I'm not saying you're definitely going to be alright, but I am saying that a lot of the time, you are going to be in a decent position whereby you can kind of self-damage once, and you get 2 attacks off nice and easily. You're not discarding any energy like fire Pokemon often want to do, and like we're going to see happening in a minute. So, you know what? Perfect? Nah, not by a long shot. But as a stage 1, free energy, 120, it's early, we don't know for certain, but I think this could be alright. There was another EX that has been shown off. We got a nice clear digital scan, and it is Venusaur. Now, I know this one was kind of half glimpsed in a video at some point previously, but we didn't get a really good look. Venusaur, I like very much indeed, if you can just hold on till turn 4. Because 190 HP in the context of this game is huge. Now, admittedly, it's a stage 2 EX, so obviously it's going to be huge, but still, this is huge. Now, we've got free energy 60, which isn't great, but it'll start getting a bunch of evolving basics. That Meltan I showed you earlier is going to be going down, for instance. Or this Clefairy I can show you is going down. So that's quite nice. This is awesome. But it's not great, it's fine. But then 4 energy, 100 damage, heal 30. And look, 190 is huge. Healing 30 is incredibly relevant. Remember, weakness is plus 20, so this isn't going to even be KO'd by something like an Arcanine here. And all of a sudden, this is starting to look very, very interesting. There's lower attack damage in this game as it is at the moment. The games are a little bit slower. The turns are quick. But you might be able to actually last... And again, we've not played enough of this game yet, alright? I've played a few games, that's it. Still more than most. And I can tell you that a lot of Pokemon don't really start attacking properly until turn 2 at least. And maybe you can hold on with Venusaur here, maybe even give up a prize or two, or a point or two as it is, and then bring this one out as a big finisher. We've already seen gusting isn't really a thing in this game. We've seen Sabrina, but your opponent gets to choose the active that comes up. We've seen Pidgeot, but your opponent gets to choose what comes up. So essentially, you should be able to actually build this up on the bench, block with a couple of Pokemon while you're waiting, and then bring this in to finish off. I legit love this Venusaur, and again, time will tell if that is how the game really ends up shaping out, but there is a genuine chance here we might, and in Standard this will be garbage. This card in Standard, garbage. But in this format, where energy acceleration seems a little bit less, although there is some as we've seen, and the game seems to take a few more turns to get rolling, 190 damage, healing 30 while doing 100. Not saying it's going to be great, time will tell. I'm saying it's going to be very interesting. Speaking of first partner Pokemon from Gen 1, how about this new Charizard? I think these are new cards. I think they are. We've at least got a nice clear scan of it. 150 HP on a stage 2 is big. 4 energy, 150. Discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. And the problem we've got here is you got a retreat cost of 2, so you're not getting in and out the active that easily. And you got to discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. And you only get 1 energy generated every turn. So the deal here is extremely simple. Is there going to be a card that will generate that second fire energy every turn? If there is, oh, this card's brilliant. 150 HP is huge. 150 damage is huge. You still won't KO Venusaur because of the plus 20 weakness, but still, you'll survive a hit from Venusaur, so, you know, not all bad. You'll win the 2-hit KO race, and you're only giving up 1 point, not 2. But the reality here is, giving up those 2 energy is going to be a problem. We know there are some cards here that will get extra energy out, like Gardevoir, for instance, for Psychic decks. But actually, I don't remember seeing one like this for Fire. So it's really quite simple. If we can get this kind of thing where we get extra fire energy, and it's going to have to be like a supporter or a Pokemon at this point, at stage 2, I think we've only seen abilities on stage 2s right now, then yeah, if we can get the extra energy, this is going to be good. You're going to be able to just stream this every turn. As soon as it gets rolling, it's going to be a monster. And like I said, with Venusaur, we might even have time to get it rolling. The issue here is, if you have to discard 2 energy, you get a big attack. They hit you twice before you get to attack again. That is not really where I want to be sitting. I'm sorry. Now, another card which has gone and been revealed, which I want to mention quickly, is that Meltan I showed you earlier. Single energy, take a metal from your energy zone and attach it to this Pokemon. We need to see what the Melmetal does, but if you can just tank like 1 hit here, then you're going to be going into turn 2 with free energy. If energy acceleration is a bit awkward like we think, this Meltan, if the Melmetal is good, could end up being a really interesting Pokemon. Now, one really interesting Pokemon we've unfortunately not had a great look at is Electabuzz. We've seen Electabuzz. Unfortunately, it's one of those where we've seen it on a composite image, and yeah, we're having to kind of cut it out. Which is fine, I'm willing to do that, but it just means we don't have the clearest look at it, and that makes me a little bit sad. So what we've got from Electabuzz, 70 HP, Thunder Punch, 40 damage, flip a coin, if heads you do more damage. I want to say 20, but I could be wrong. It's very small. Or maybe 40 more. It's more damage, if tails you do 20 to yourself. The fact that it's 2 energy here is very, very, very important. The fact that it's a basic Pokemon is important. This could be a real star in the early game. Not saying it's going to be the best card ever, but I'm saying, you know, we saw this back with base set Pokemon. Back with base set Pokemon, we had basically a format where people were trying to evolve up into stage 2s. And then we had, it turned out, things, ironically, like Electabuzz, that were just decent damage for low energy, absolutely dominating. Maybe that could be a similar kind of thing going on here. As always, I cannot stress enough, we have to wait to see exactly what is going on with the metagame before we can say things definitively. But I'm just saying, 2 energy is lower than a lot of Pokemon, and I really like this as an early game smash. I just wish we had a better image of it. Also, the self-damage obviously could end up being a problem in the long run, because sooner or later, you're going to flip enough tails and you are going to go down. Now, those are cards that I think could end up being playable, but I need to show you this full art Eevee. I'm fairly sure it's not been shown off before. It's fine. Single Energy 20 is all right. As a side note, Single Energy 30 in this format will be great. We've seen a bunch of Single Energy 20 like this in Clefairy. Single Energy 30 will be awesome. 2-hit KO starting turn 1 going second. If we can get some decent Single Energy 30 attacks, they will legit be good. I'm just putting that out there. Also, prediction from your old pal Wassy, we're not going to see any Single Energy 40 attacks, because Single Energy 40 with weakness, we get a turn 1 KO going second. I don't think that's the way this game is heading. Could be wrong. This is a pure prediction. This is not based on anything I saw at my preview. I need to stress that. This is pure conjecture on my part, but I think we will get Single Energy 30 attacks, and I think they'll be great. I don't think we're getting Single Energy 40. I would feel pretty confident about that. So there we go. Couple of new EXs, couple of new other Pokemon I like the look of, and a stunning full art that makes me sad these are going to remain digital cards. Never mind, eh? For now, I want to know what you think about all of these, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.